Today we'll be talking about the structure of the pharynx. At the end of the session, you should know about the pharyngobasilar fascia, buccopharyngeal fascia, the muscles forming the pharynx, that is the circular and longitudinal muscles, structures passing through the gaps of the muscles, Killian's dehiscence, nerve supply, blood supply, lymphatic drainage, applied anatomy of the pharynx. So coming to the structure of the pharynx, so from within outwards we have the mucosa, submucosa, pharyngobasilar fascia, the muscular coat and the buccopharyngeal fascia. Mucosa is lined by the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. In the submucosa we have numerous mucous and serous glands. The pharyngobasilar fascia, this is a thick fibrous sheath deep to the pharyngeal muscles. It is thicker in the upper part. So coming to its attachments, superiorly it is attached to the pittus part of temple bone, the auditory tube, posterior border of the medial pterygoid plate, pterygomandibular raphe. Inferiorly, it is lost deep to the muscles. So coming to the other muscular coat, we have three constrictor muscles, that is the superior constrictor muscle, the middle constrictor muscle and the inferior constrictor muscle. Three longitudinal muscles, styloid process to pharynx, that is stylopharyngeus, the soft palate to the pharynx, palatopharyngeus, and salpingopharyngeus coming from the auditory tube. The outermost layer forms the buccopharyngeal fascia. It covers the outer surface of the muscles. In between the muscle and the fascia, we have the pharyngeal plexus of nerves. Now we'll take up the constrictor muscles in detail. As I already mentioned to you, there are three in number, the superior, middle and inferior constrictor muscle. All these constrictor muscles are inserted to the fibrous raphe. The superior constrictor muscle, it arises from the pterygoid hamillus, pterygomandibular raphe, the posterior end of the mylohyoid line of mandible and the side of the tongue. As I already mentioned to you, it is inserted to the fibrous raphe. The middle constrictor muscle, it originates from the lower part of stylohyoid ligament, lesser corner of hyoid bone, upper border and greater corner of the hyoid bone, and similarly it is inserted to the fibrous raphe. The inferior constrictor muscle, it has two parts, the thyropharyngeus and cricopharyngeus. Both are inserted to the fibrous raphe. The thyropharyngeus arises from the oblique line of the lamina of the thyroid cartilage and inferior corner of the thyroid cartilage. while cricopharyngeus arises from the cricoid cartilage. So coming to the longitudinal muscles, we have the stylopharyngeus. It originates from the styloid process and inserted to the posterior border of the lamina of the thyroid cartilage. The salpingopharyngeus, it originates from the lower surface of the auditory tube. It merges with the palatopharyngeus. While the palatopharyngeus, it originates from the superior surface of the palatine aponeurosis and palatine crust. Both together are inserted to the posterior border of the lamina of the thyroid cartilage. Now we have the gaps between the pharyngeal muscles. The first gap, that is found at the upper border of the superior constrictor muscle, also called as sinus of Morgagni. The second gap between the superior and middle constrictor muscle. The third gap between the middle and inferior constrictor muscle. And the fourth gap found at the inferior border of the inferior constrictor muscle, between the constrictor muscle and the esophagus. Now we'll see the structures passing between these gaps. So at the upper border of the superior constrictor muscle, which is also called a sinus of Morgagni, it is closed by the pharyngobasilar fascia. The structures passing are the auditory tube, levator palati muscle, and ascending palatine artery. That is the first gap. Now coming to the second gap, that is the gap between the superior and middle constrictor muscle. So the structures passing are the stylopharyngeus muscle and the glossopharyngeal nerve. The third gap between the middle and inferior constrictor muscle. So structures passing are the internal laryngeal nerve and the superior laryngeal vessels. The structures passing at the lower border of inferior constrictor muscle and esophagus are the recurrent laryngeal nerve and inferior laryngeal vessels. Next, coming to the Killian's dehiscence. We have already seen that the inferior constrictor had two parts of origin, that is the thyropharyngeus and cricopharyngeus. The thyropharyngeus is a single sheet of muscle not overlapped by the other constrictor muscles. This is a weak part. It lies below the level of the vocal folds. It is limited inferiorly by the thick cricopharyngeus. Both the thyropharyngeus and the cricopharyngeus are supplied by different nerves. The propulsive thyropharyngeus is supplied by the pharyngeal plexus, and the sphincteric cricopharyngeus is supplied by the recurrent laryngeal nerve. If neuromuscular incoordination occurs, then this leads to a pharyngeal diverticula or outpouching. This is called as the Killian's dehiscence. Coming to the nerve supply of the pharynx, so we are going to study under these various headings. There's a motor innervation, sensory innervation, taste, and parasympathetic. Coming to the motor nerve supply of the pharynx, all muscles of the pharynx, that is both the circular and longitudinal muscles, are supplied by the cranial branch of accessory nerve, that is through the branches of vagus nerve, except stylopharyngeus. So stylopharyngeus is supplied by the glossopharyngeal nerve, and in addition the inferior constrictor muscle is supplied by the recurrent laryngeal nerve. So that finishes the motor nerve supply. Coming to the sensory nerve supply, the nasopharynx is supplied by the branches of maxillary nerve through the pterygopalatine ganglia, while the soft palate and tonsil by the lesser palatine and glossopharyngeal nerves. The rest of the pharynx is supplied by the glossopharyngeal and the vagus nerve. Taste sensation from the vallecula and epiglottic area passes through the internal laryngeal branch of the vagus nerve. Parasympathetic secretomotor nerve is derived from the greater petrosal nerve, which is a branch of facial nerve, through the lesser palatine branch of the pterygopalatine ganglia. So coming to the blood supply, so this pharynx is very vascular, so it's supplied by various branches of the external carotid artery. You have the ascending pharyngeal, facial, lingual and maxillary. So ascending pharyngeal branch of external carotid artery, then branches of facial artery, that is ascending palatine and tonsillar branch of facial artery, dorsal lingual branch of lingual artery, greater palatine, pharyngeal and pterygoid branches of the maxillary artery. So venous drainage, so mainly drained into the internal jugular and facial veins. Coming to the lymphatic drainage, so it drains either into the retropharyngeal lymph nodes or deep cervical lymph nodes. So assignment: pharyngobasilar fascia, superior constrictor, middle constrictor and inferior constrictor muscles. Enumerate the longitudinal muscles of the pharynx, the structures passing through the various gaps of the muscles, Killian's dehiscence, nerve supply, blood supply and lymphatic drainage of pharynx.